Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Naresh Mago and with me is R.S. Raghu with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi emphasizes on Jal Jeevan Mission with the motto Har Ghar Jal. Aims to provide drinking water to every rural household by 2024. Defence Ministry formally sanctions Permanent Commission to Women Officers in all streams of Indian Army. Central Government asks all states to include persons with disabilities under Antyodaya Anna Yojana. Government relaxes eligibility criteria for admission in NIT and centrally funded technical institutions due to COVID-19 situation. Election Commission defers by-elections of 7 Assembly constituencies and 1 Lok Sabha constituency till 7 September, and relief and rescue operations in full swing in flood-affected areas of Assam and Bihar. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that Northeast has the potential to become India's growth engine as now peace is being established in the entire region. He said Northeast is in a way the gateway to country's ancient cultural relationships with East Asia. The Prime Minister was speaking after laying the foundation stone of Manipur water supply project through video conferencing today. The Prime Minister noted that the government is making constant efforts to improve connectivity in the northeastern region, be it highways, laying of rail tracks, or upgradation of airports.
नॉर्थ ईस्ट की कनेक्टिविटी यहाँ के लोगों की ईज ऑफ लिविंग के लिए तो जरूरी है ही, एक सुरक्षित और आत्मनिर्भर भारत के लक्ष्य को पूरा करने के लिए भी बहुत जरूरी है। ये एक तरफ से म्यांमार, भूटान, नेपाल और बांग्लादेश के साथ हमारे सामाजिक व्यापारिक रिश्तों को मजबूती देती है, वहीं भारत की एक्ट ईस्ट पॉलिसी को भी सशक्त करती है। हमारा ये नॉर्थ ईस्ट एक प्रकार से पूर्वी एशिया के साथ हमारे प्राचीन सांस्कृतिक रिश्तों को और भविष्य के ट्रेड, ट्रैवल और टूरिज्म उन रिश्तों का गेटवे है।
Mr. Modi said the Manipur water supply project under the Jal Jeevan Mission has been designed to provide safe drinking water to every household of the state for the next 20 to 22 years. He said lakhs of people will get access to clean drinking water and thousands of people will get employment. Mr. Modi said, today is a very auspicious day for people of Manipur, especially the women of the state.
अब कुछ दिन के बाद जब राखी का त्योहार आने वाला है, उसके पूर्व मणिपुर की बहनों को ये बहुत बड़ी बेद सौगात की शुरुआत हो रही है। लगभग 3,000 करोड़ रुपए की लागत से पूरे होने वाले मणिपुर वाटर सप्लाई प्रोजेक्ट से यहाँ के लोगों को पानी की दिक्कतें कम होने वाली है। ग्रेटर इम्फाल सहित छोटे बड़े 25 शहर और कस्बे 1700 से ज्यादा गांवों के लिए इस प्रोजेक्ट से जो जलधारा निकलेगी, ये जलधारा जीवन धारा का काम करेगी।
The project that comprises 40 water supply schemes will be constructed in 25 towns and 22 reservoirs, 20 overhead tanks. 6 river intakes will also be constructed in Imphal planning area. Moreover, 1,222 rural water supply schemes will be constructed in 1,731 habitations. The target for completion of the project is 2024 and it is expected to benefit 40 lakh population of the state. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also emphasized on Jal Jeevan Mission with the motto of Har Ghar Jal. Under the scheme, the government is targeting to provide safe and adequate quantities of drinking water to every rural household of the country by 2024. A report from our correspondent.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the foundation stone laying of Manipur water supply project has set an example that even during the COVID-19 pandemic, the country never stopped. The government has taken pledge while starting the Jal Jeevan mission that we will work on it at full speed. Therefore, even during the lockdown period, the government continues development and welfare projects without delay. Jan Shakti Ministry has taken the Jal Jeevan mission as a tireless andolan. The Prime Minister said its policy is very important for the India and the northeastern part of the country. In the future, northeastern region will act as the gateway for the Southeast Asian countries in terms of economic, social and other aspects. This is JJ Thokchong from Imphal for AIR News.
The Defence Ministry has issued a formal government-sanctioned letter for grant of Permanent Commission PC to women officers of the Indian Army. This will pave the way for empowering women officers to shoulder larger roles in the organization. The order specifies grant of PC to short service commissioned SSC women officers in all 10 streams of the Indian Army, namely Army Air Defence AAD, Signals, Engineers, Army Aviation, Electronics and Mechanical Engineers EME, Army Service Corps ASC, Army Ordnance Corps AOC and Intelligence Corps, in addition to the existing streams of Judge and Advocate General JAG and Army Educational Corps AEC. Our correspondent, quoting official sources, reports Army Headquarters had set in motion a series of preparatory actions for conduct of the Permanent Commission Selection Board for affected women officers. The selection board will be scheduled as soon as all affected SSC women officers exercise their option and complete the requisite documentation.
Following the Delhi High Court's direction to provide ration to the persons with disabilities (PWDs), central government has asked all states to include them under Antyodaya Anna Yojana (AAY). Divyangjan will get 35 kg food grain per family every month under it. In a series of tweets, Food and Consumer Affairs Minister Ram Vilas Paswan said it is up to the state governments to decide who will be the beneficiary under AAY ration card and priority households ration card. Mr. Paswan said during the expansion of AAY in 2003, there were clear instructions in the guidelines to include Divyangjan in this scheme. He directed the state governments to ensure that no Divyangjan is deprived of the benefits. The minister also urged the states to ensure that Divyangjan get 5 kg free food grain per person under the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana and Atmanirbhar Bharat package. Meanwhile, the National Federation of the Blind has welcomed the central government's move. Talking to AIR News, Federation General Secretary S.K. Rungta said this decision will provide relief to around 2 to 3 crore Divyangjan across the country.
This decision will benefit not less than 2 to 3 crores disabled throughout the country. Not only in this National Food Security Act, but in getting benefit under Manrega, under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, affordable housing, and also Ayushman Bharat.
In a major relief to the JEE candidates, the government has decided to relax the eligibility criteria for admission in the NIT and centrally funded technical institutions due to COVID-19 situation. Human Resource and Development Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank today said that the candidates who qualified JEE Mains 2020 exam will now only need to obtain a passing certificate in Class 12 examination. For admissions in these institutions, it is required to secure a minimum of 75% marks in 12th board exams or rank among the top 20 percentile in their qualifying examinations.
The University Grants Commission UGC has said that out of 818 universities across the country, 603 have either conducted examinations or are planning to conduct the examinations. The Commission said 209 universities have already conducted examination online or offline, and 394 are planning to conduct examinations in August and September. On the 6th of this month, UGC had issued revised guidelines on conduct of examinations in view of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Commission said, in case of 27 private universities, 7 state universities and 1 deemed university, the first batch is yet to become eligible for the final examination. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has said India has embarked on its journey to be self-sufficient in terms of coal production. Speaking at the Tree Plantation Drive 2020 function today, the Home Minister hailed the initiatives taken under the current government to make the nation self-reliant in many aspects. Highlighting the key achievements in the coal sector, Mr. Shah asserted that new reforms introduced in the last 6 years have made the sector globally competitive. He lauded the decision of commercial mining and said it will further reduce India's dependence on coal imports.
अगर देश को आत्मनिर्भर बनाना है, आत्मनिर्भरता के नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नारे को चरितार्थ करना है, तो कोयले के अंदर पीढ़ी खनन सबसे ज्यादा जल्दी खनन कर आयात को लगभग शून्य करना पड़ेगा और इसलिए कोयला क्षेत्र में एफडीआई और इसके साथ साथ वाणिज्यिक कोयला खनन का आरंभ अभी नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने किया है.
Union Ministry of Labour and Employment has said that the subscriber base for Employees Provident Fund Organisation EPFO has grown by 3.18 lakh new net members during the month of May this year. It has registered 218% month-on-month growth. The ministry said despite the lockdown, around 1 lakh net new subscribers were added to social security schemes of EPFO in April this year. The provisional payroll data published by EPFO on 20th of this month reveals that net new enrollments started making headway for most industry classifications in May. Information and Technology Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad today said in 40 days, starting from 10th June, the Common Services Centre CSC Wi-Fi Chopal has provided 1 lakh fibre to the home FTTH broadband connections in rural areas. Mr. Prasad said these connections have been given across 21 states using the BharatNet infrastructure. Mr. Prasad said work is going on in mission mode to achieve an ambitious target of 5 lakh FTTH connections by September.
Today is National Broadcasting Day. On this day in 1927, the first ever radio broadcast in the country went on air from the Bombay station under a private company, the Indian Broadcasting Company. Prasar Bharati CEO Shashi Shekhar Vempati has extended his greetings to the entire broadcasting community in India on the occasion. Talking exclusively to AIR News, Mr. Vempati said, radio and broadcasting have a very long history and legacy which is older than independent India itself. He stated that the power of speech and freedom of expression are something very unique because India is the largest democracy.
Broadcasting has played a very crucial role over the decade, and my best wishes to the entire broadcasting family, not just those who are associated with the public broadcaster, but also with the entire community of broadcasting in India. India has very vibrant broadcasting sector, and so it would be very appropriate if the entire broadcasting sector marks this day, celebrates this day for what it means to broadcasting in India, the power of speech, the freedom of expression, something which is very unique because we are the largest democracy, the only billion people democracy in the planet, and the very strong symbol of that freedom of expression.
In her message, Principal DG All India Radio, Ira Joshi, said, radio has been an effective and credible medium of knowledge, information and entertainment and also played a crucial role in protecting the Indian culture and traditions.
इस कोरोना काल में जो समर्पित, सशक्त और सचेत उपस्थिति रेडियो ने दर्ज कराई है, उससे न केवल जनमानस का विश्वास रेडियो के प्रति बढ़ा है, वरन एक संवेदनशील जुड़ाव भी दर्ज हुआ है। अपने निज दिन के कार्यक्रम में रेडियो ने श्रोताओं और कोरोना संकट से जूझ रहे आम आदमी के हृदय में हिम्मत और साहस की अनेक संजीवक ध्वनियां प्रत्यारोपित की हैं। जब संचार के अनेक माध्यम दुनिया को कोरोना की भयावहता की छवियां दिखा रहे थे, रेडियो शांतचित्त एकांत में अपनी मधुर ध्वनि के साथ ऐसे दूर गगन में ले जाने को लालायित रहा जहां न गम थे न आंसू, बस अपने कर्तव्य पथ पर साहस से बढ़ते रहने का हौसला और हिम्मत छिपी थी।
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi emphasizes on Jal Jeevan Mission with the motto Har Ghar Jal, aims to provide drinking water to every rural household by 2024. Defence Ministry formally sanctions permanent commission to women officers in all streams of Indian Army. Central government asks all states to include persons with disabilities under Antyodaya Anna Yojana. Government relaxes eligibility criteria for admission in NIT and centrally funded technical institutions due to COVID-19 situation. Election Commission defers by-election of 7 Assembly constituencies and 1 Lok Sabha constituency till 7th of September, and relief and rescue operations in full swing in flood-affected areas of Assam and Bihar. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
आओ नमन करें उनको जिनके हिस्से ये मुकाम आया। खुशनसीब है वो वीर जो देश के काम आया। कारगिल के वीरों को शत शत नमन।
भारत हमको जान से प्यारा है, सबसे न्यारा गुलिस्तां हमारा है।
The Election Commission has deferred the by-election of 7 assembly constituencies and 1 parliamentary constituency till the 7th of September this year. The decision has been made in light of COVID-19 pandemic and flood in some parts of the country. The 7 assembly constituencies include Sibsagar in Assam, Tiruvottiur and Gudiyattam in Tamil Nadu, Agar in Madhya Pradesh, Bulandshahr and Tundla in Uttar Pradesh, and Chavara in Kerala. The parliamentary constituency where the by-poll stands deferred till 7th September is Valmiki Nagar in Bihar. The Election Commission has said that elections in these constituencies will be conducted as soon as the conditions become conducive. In addition to these 8 seats, by-polls for 49 more assembly seats are to be held in the country, for which the Commission has clarified that polls will be conducted as per provisions of the law. It said further details regarding schedule of the elections will be discussed in the Commission's meeting, which is likely to be held tomorrow. The central government has said that a total of 7,82,607 people have recovered from coronavirus so far, and with this the recovery rate has reached 63.18% in the country. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry today said a record 29,557 people have recovered in the past 24 hours. This is the highest number of recoveries in one day since the outbreak of COVID-19 in the country. The Health Ministry said the highest number of 45,720 new cases of COVID-19 were reported in the country within the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to 12,38,635. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the country is 4,26,167. In a single day, 1,129 deaths were reported, taking the nationwide toll to 29,861. However, the case fatality rate is continuously declining in the country, and it has reached 2.41%.
In Jammu and Kashmir, strict restrictions were imposed in most parts of Kashmir today, a day after the Union Territory Administration announced a complete lockdown across the valley, except for Bandipora district, to contain the spread of COVID-19. The 6-day complete lockdown in the valley came into effect from yesterday, following a spike in the number of COVID-19 cases in the last 3 weeks. No movement of people except in medical emergencies and essential services was being allowed across the valley. Death toll due to COVID-19 infection has reached 285 as 6 people from Kashmir Valley died from the virus today. Uttar Pradesh has achieved 55,000 COVID testing capacity per day, and Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has directed officials to further increase the number of testings in the state. Stressing the need to ramp it up further, he said that the current capacity of 20,000 tests per day by rapid antigen method can be increased to 50,000 tests per day in a phased manner. A report.
Presiding over a review meeting this afternoon, the Chief Minister asked officials to expedite door-to-door survey and do as many medical screenings as possible. He said that those who are found suspect in medical screening should be subjected to rapid antigen COVID testing, and arrangements of treatment should be made for those who are found COVID positive after the test. The state government has already ordered closure of all markets and offices on Saturday and Sunday to make the cleanliness drive successful. There are positive results of the special cleanliness and sanitization drive on weekends. The drive has been launched to contain COVID-19 as well as other communicable diseases. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
In the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Maharashtra government has permitted online classes for pre-primary students and for standards 1 and 2 with a daily 30-minute session 5 days a week. Last month, the pre-primary students in standards 1 and 2 were left out in the government's decision for starting online classes from June 15. But now, in its latest order issued yesterday, the government has asked schools to conduct online sessions for all classes from pre-primary till standard 12. We have a report.
As per the latest order by the Maharashtra government, the pre-primary classes will be conducted daily from Monday to Friday for 30 minutes, in which the teachers will interact and parents of the students. For standard 1 and 2, there will be 2 sessions of total 30 minutes. The first 15-minute session will be for interaction and training of parents, and the second session will be of activity-based learning for students. For standard 3 to 8, there will be 2 sessions of 45 minutes each every day. For standard 9 and 10, there will be up to 4 sessions of 45 minutes each every day. Meanwhile, the Maharashtra government has decided to give a second chance to students who have failed in the exams of classes 9 and 11 and directed schools to conduct their oral examinations on August 7. Nivedita, AIR News, Mumbai.
Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation has termed media reports on ICMR study showing around 49% of seropositivity in Ahmedabad as false. Talking to media, AMC Medical Officer of Health Dr. Bhavin Solanki said ICMR has clarified that no such findings were declared officially. A report from our correspondent.
ICMR has clarified that a study was conducted during the lockdown with only 49% containment zones. It is not a representative sample of the city, so can't be relied upon for any conclusion. Meanwhile, Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation recently conducted world's largest study on herd immunity, which shows seropositivity in only 17.61% of the population. AMC has collected over 30,000 samples from all the 7 zones in the span of almost a month to study the presence of antibodies. The civic body today clarified that the percentage is too low to be called as herd immunity. Aparna Khun, AR News, Ahmedabad.
In Tamil Nadu, the even semester examinations for all the arts, science and engineering students except the final semester are cancelled. All the exempted students are promoted to their next semesters. The State Higher Education Department is expected to come out with detailed guidelines on the method of evaluation of the students' performance for the semester. Meanwhile, the total COVID-19 infections in Tamil Nadu has gone up to nearly 1,93,000 with a record of 6,472 people confirmed positive today. More from our correspondent.
The Tamil Nadu Governor's Office in Chennai has reported that 84 of its staff working at its outer periphery are found to be positive for COVID-19 infection. Most of them are the police and fire and rescue personnel involved in security duties. The State Health Department has taken measures to isolate and treat them. The Raj Bhavan has said the Governor and the officials in his secretariat have not come in contact with the infected patients. The Raj Bhavan premises have been sanitized. Meanwhile, Chennai Corporation Commissioner G. Prakash has said the ongoing intense activities against the spread of the pandemic needs to be carried forward for at least the next 3 to 4 months. Jai Singh, AR News, Chennai.
The COVID surge continues in Karnataka with 5,030 people testing positive for the virus infection today. The COVID death toll has reached 97 in the state. The recovery rate has marginally improved to 36.25% with 2,071 people returning home after recovery.
A 14-day complete lockdown in Manipur has come into effect amid surge in COVID-19 cases. Chief Minister N. Biren Singh chaired a cabinet meeting last evening to review the COVID-19 situation in the state. During the meeting, the decision was taken to implement a total lockdown in the state starting 2 p.m. as a preventive measure. In Nagaland, in view of the spurt of COVID-19 cases in the state capital, Kohima, a 7-day total lockdown will be imposed in the district from 25th to 31st July. Meanwhile, Nagaland today recorded the single highest spike of 90 new cases, taking the total number of affected people in the state to 1,174. Under Phase 4 of the Vande Bharat mission, a total of 1,197 flights have been scheduled so far. These include 945 international flights and 252 feeder flights. These flights are operated by the Air India Group, Indigo, SpiceJet and GoAir and cover 29 countries. Briefing media in New Delhi, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Anurag Srivastava said of these flights, 694 flights have already reached India as on 22nd July.
The ministry continues to be in touch with missions on their specific demands for repatriation, and these demands include students who are completing their courses abroad as well as Indians who have been stranded due to compelling reasons.
External Affairs Ministry today said respecting and strictly abiding by the LAC is the basis of peace and tranquility in the border areas. Briefing media in New Delhi, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Anurag Srivastava said several agreements concluded by India and China since 1993 firmly acknowledge this. He said the conduct of Chinese forces this year, including the deployment of large body of troops and changes in behavior accompanied by unjustified and untenable claims, has been in complete disregard of all the mutual agreements. He said Indian side has made it clear that India is fully committed to observing and respecting the LAC and country will not accept any unilateral attempts to change the status quo along the LAC. The two sides have agreed during the conversation of the special representatives to work towards complete disengagement of the troops along the LAC and de-escalation from India-China border areas for full restoration of peace and tranquility. The Supreme Court today allowed the Rajasthan High Court to pronounce order on plea of 19 dissident Congress MLAs, including the sacked Deputy Chief Minister Sachin Pilot, against the Assembly Speaker's notice for initiating disqualification proceedings against them. The bench observed that the voice of dissent in democracy cannot be shut down, but it would be subject to the outcome of petition before the top court. It has fixed the plea for hearing on July 27. Rajasthan Assembly Speaker C.P. Joshi, however, failed to get any interim relief on his plea, alleging that the High Court cannot interdict the disqualification proceedings undertaken by him under 10th schedule of the Constitution.
In Assam, there is no respite from flood fury in the state. Several rivers are flowing above the danger level. Nearly 27 lakh people are affected by flood water in 25 districts. The death toll has gone up to 91. Meanwhile, Assam Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal has said that the government would not tolerate any sort of corruption in relief distribution among the flood-hit people. He said that stern action would be taken if anyone indulged in corrupt practices during relief distribution. More from our correspondent.
Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal met flood-affected people at relief camps to assess the condition of the camps at Rangia and Darang. He said that the Assam government is putting all efforts to help the affected people. 45,000 people are staying at relief camps in various districts. Overall, 28 lakh people are affected in flood in 26 districts. Most of them are from Barpeta, Dhubri, Gwalpara and Marigaon districts. 93% lost their lives so far due to flood. Along with district administration, various civil society organizations and individuals are extending help to flooded people. Manas Patim Sharma, AR News, Guwahati.
In Bihar, relief and rescue operation is in full swing in flood-affected areas of the state. 19 teams of NDRF and SDRF have been pressed into service for evacuation of affected people. 30,000 people have been shifted to safer places. The state government has requested the people who are living in low-lying areas of various rivers to shift to higher places.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature will be 24 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while the maximum will be around 33 degrees Celsius. The city will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. In Srinagar, the minimum temperature will be around 13 degrees, while the maximum will be 31 degrees. The city will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Leh, Ladakh will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The temperature will hover between 13 and 28 degrees Celsius. In Gilgit, the temperature will hover between 15 and 34 degrees Celsius. It will witness mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. In Muzaffarabad, there will be mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature will be 21 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 35 degrees Celsius. Chandigarh will have thunderstorm with rain. The minimum temperature in the city will be 26 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 32 degrees. The national capital Delhi will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. In Dehradun, the temperature will hover between 24 and 33 degrees Celsius, and in Hyderabad, the minimum temperature will be 23 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 32 degrees.
And now, before we end the headlines once again, Prime Minister Narendra Modi emphasizes on Jal Jeevan Mission with the motto Har Ghar Jal, aims to provide drinking water to every rural household by 2024. Defence Ministry formally sanctions Permanent Commission to Women Officers in all streams of Indian Army. Central Government asks all states to include persons with disabilities under Antyodaya Anna Yojana. Government relaxes eligibility criteria for admission in NIT and centrally funded technical institutions due to COVID-19 situation. Election Commission defers by-election of 7 assembly constituencies and 1 Lok Sabha constituency till 7 September, and relief and rescue operations in full swing in flood-affected areas of Assam and Bihar. For details of these stories and more, log on to our websites www.newsonair.com and on News on AIR app. And that is all in the evening news. Good night.